Alright, I'm going to be going through the tune again, mainly the idle, because I keep finding new things with the update in the firmware. So there's a lot of things that haven't been switched on that I thought were. So let's get into it. Give it a quick clean up. We'll get straight into the Forester. Alright, back in the garage. We're going to drop the car down, and then we're going to try to set idle once again. So I think it's about 5%. I might need to open it so I don't have to put my foot down on the throttle every time we start it. I want to try to get it idling around 1100. Alright, let's start tuning it. Oh, there we go. Let's go to 5%. Yeah. Alright, got about 4%, 4.6. It's very sensitive in the next 0.5%. So you haven't even touched the throttle and it's already gone down. So hopefully the throttle blade is open enough that we can get an actual start. Right, can't touch the throttle. That's right. Forgot to turn the injectors on. Yes, no foot on the throttle. Saying transient throttle still. Yeah, transient throttle still on. What happened there? I turned transient throttle off. Right, it's already reset. Let's see how we go. $1100. It's after the O2 comes in, so yeah, we shouldn't have any movement. I'm not touching the throttle. Alright guys, it's the next day. The laptop to work and was just playing around with setting up different screens. So I've got boost and ignition up there and fuel tuning. I'm thinking with the TPS that it's either it's wiring, I reckon, because I was not touching anything. The blade shouldn't be moving, and if the blade isn't moving, we shouldn't be getting percentage change unless voltage is changing. Now when I did crank it, we got quite a bit of voltage change. Got the voltage here for TPS cable. I didn't touch the cable at all, didn't touch the throttle, nothing. So the actual physical butterfly should not move. I have it cracked open a bit to allow it to idle. I think I've got it at a good spot for it to idle. You can see down here the voltage change. So we've got 0.87, 0.94, 0.84, 0.9916, 112, 120, 117, 13, 22, 13, 17. It just keeps moving. So it's showing that the TPS is open 3-4% when it's not. So we're going to be adding fuel and corrections. So I did the ignition table here. You can see the corrections. So this is, I did here, runtime and RPM. We can see all the corrections. Post start, which 1.2 degrees. That's fine. Yeah. It's only 11 seconds. I think I went to 30 seconds with the post start correction. Anyway, there is voltage change when there shouldn't be. So we're going to see what it is. Is it the power? Is it the ground? Or is it the 5 volt? So let's check that out. Right, let's head over to this fuse box first for a ground. We have a ground here, which is the main ground. There. This ground here goes to this relay. That's the power for the ECU. And then we have battery ground for the ECU. Which, yes, this is not the battery ground. The battery's all the way in the back. Right, so that goes through, obviously, to the ECU. Alright, I wonder if this is the issue. This bolt is the earth, but get in there, and I had it before. It's not really. I'm gonna get that out. Wow, wow, wow! Would you look at that? I need to clean that surface up. There's paint on it. Alright, so I cleaned up around the area. I took the paint off and I put a washer underneath it. Touch the bottom one. 12.6. Touch the ring terminal. 12.6. Touch the bolt. Still touching it. There. Might change the bolt over. Alright, so I changed the bolt over. Sick. Alright, so I recalibrated the pedal again. I did move the TPS all the way back, so we're at 1.7 volts for 0%. That's annoying. But with the 100%, I went to about 98% until I had the switch go in the throttle pedal. Then I calibrated it there. So when I push my foot right down, it's always going to be 100%. And that button, I don't know what the button is down there, but I hear it clicking. But definitely hit 100%. See? 100%. Then I come back and I'm at 0.3. Alright, anyways, let's give it a quick start up. I'll log it again, so if we have that erratic movement when voltage drops, we'll keep looking. Alright, just making sure that transient throttle is still off, because I was playing around with it today at work, but I got rid of all that. Alright, let's start logging. I'll start her up. Alright, no foot on the throttle. 7%. It's a good startup though, isn't it? Something's rubbing. I can feel it vibrating. We are very rich. We should be at 9.5, not 7. Not worried about fuel at the moment. Really strange. I'll let it go for a bit. We've got run time on here. The coolant temp corrections going on. Alright, that startup was really good, except I'm not liking that TPS. Right, I'm gonna keep looking at wiring. Alright guys, it's the next day. I have put the filter up to 5. So let's alright, we're already getting a bit of movement. Car's not on, ignition on. Let's check what's going on with the voltage. Alright, so it's going 1.75 to 4. Apparently that's normal. Alright, let's log and we'll see how we go with the cold start again. Alright. So we can go over to voltage here. What are you doing there? TPS is still moving. Saying it's at 5%. So as soon as I turn transient throttle on, I think it'll go crazy and yeah, that won't work. So we have a wiring issue. It's only TPS that's moving. So I'm guessing it's probably the factory wiring in between the TPS and the Haltech. Alright guys, where do I start? Alright, over the last 3 nights I've been doing startup tests, logging them. All the AVI sensors are not dropping or increasing while cranking and after through the Haltech. Check the grounding's fine. So I believe it's the actual TPS wire. So I checked resistance between this one and that one because they joined first down there and it was fine. So yeah, it'd be the sensor trigger wire, no, the input wire back to the Haltech. This, as you can see, is original wiring for the plug that goes down into the plug down here. I can't remember if I've run it all the way through to that plug or I just jumped it from the ECU. I'm gonna have to check that out. So we're gonna have to pull this carpet up again and get back to the ECU because we can see the wires coming through up into here. Obviously if I see that wire there, then I know I've gone to here and I've probably got a pigtail off that connector down there and join it there. Also, I've tried different TPSs and same thing is happening. We're getting about a 0.3 voltage increase from not cranking to started, which makes it around 5% TPS. So transient throttle is going to switch on, which we don't want. Alright guys, just got up the list of the wires, the coloured wires. Throttle position is white. And we can see up here we do not have any full white ones that go through. So got to get that panel off. Looks like it's the old wiring from here. So we'll have to I'll check the actual terminals, male and female, see if there's any corrosion or anything like that. But yeah, awesome. Old wiring. Alright, let's get this off. Looks okay to me. No oxidization. Alright. So what I need to do is check there to that connector down there, and from that connector to the ECU, and we can see where the issue is. Awesome. So I've got a back problem. Alright guys, got the catch can out, looking at these connectors here. So I've tested from the connector to the TPS and we're looking good. Now what I forgot was the TCU needed TPS reference for it to function, and I haven't disconnected that. So maybe that's why we're getting voltage change. So I'm going to snip that because we don't need that anymore. And tomorrow we'll start her up because it's about 11 o'clock now. We'll see if that's the issue. If it's not, I'm going to use AVI 1 because it's shielded, which I haven't used yet, and I'll send it through and connect that straight to the TPS. And then it'll get rid of any noise, direct straight to the Haltech. If that doesn't fix it, we've got 3 voltage TPS sensors. I don't know. Let's see how we go. So let's have a look down in the footwell. Alright, so the reason why I keep going after this TPS issue, guys, is if I don't worry about it, like as soon as I turn transient throttle on, it messes up all my startup, and I have to put my throttle down, my foot on the pedal. So earlier when I turned it off, I could start it, don't even put my foot on the pedal, and it's good, even though it goes up to 5-7%. So we've got to work this out. So AVI 2 is this white one here. So you can see here the blue that goes back into the ECU, because the TCU needed reference from the ECU to the TCU. Green is what is has that connector in the engine bay, so we'll have to chop the blue. Yeah, so here I will chop the blue and chop the blue here. So yeah, we are probably getting interference from the ECU and the TCU that's over on the other side. So white will come out and just go to green and go all the way to the engine bay. If that doesn't work, we have this grey and yellow one which is shielded. I'll send that through. So this used to be over the other side near the airbox, which I pulled through not long ago. I did send it over there with a 5 volt and a center ground. So I could potentially put that through, and that would be the new thing. I could have that on a separate one. I really should just get a piggyback and just, or get a new connector and connect it straight up. That would be ideal. So I could just remove that if I need to take the engine out, because it'll be on a separate little loom and it wouldn't affect getting the engine out.
if I just send this through, it's going to be permanently on there, and yeah, I'd have to take the engine loom off when I take the engine out. Alright, just got the workshop manual up here. Throttle position, yellow green to that connector, the black one in the engine bay. Then we have light green B7. So we are making sure you keep that light green. I'm going to chop the blue there and chop the blue there. We should be good. Get some electrical tape and tape them up so we don't get anything shorting out. That should work. Got a bit of length there too. Alright, if that does work, because I've got some length, I will just chop these two bits out and put it straight to that green one, and we should be good. Alright, ignition is on. We're at 1.23 volts. I'm just going to go back to my last log, because I haven't changed anything, and see what I was at before I started it. I think we might have found the issue, guys. This is a log from 2 days ago on the 30th. It's now the 1st of November. 0 RPM. You can see down here. I haven't started it yet. 1.63. So I've dropped down 0.4. Yeah, getting interference from the stock ECU and TCU from the TPS. If you're gonna run aftermarket, just do all the wiring. Don't try to piggyback. Makes it a lot harder. A lot more little gremlins. Fingers crossed this is the issue and we can get a steady TPS signal. Alright guys, look, I can't even get to 100%. 88.6. These foot to the floor. It's gonna have to be recalibrated. So it was drawing some voltage. Alright guys, it's the next morning. About to start it up, let it run for 60 seconds and see where we're at with the whole voltage thing with the TPS. So I'm going to log it so I can come back to it. So we're at 120, no foot on the throttle. Only went up 0.1 instead of 0.3. Still at 0%, but that's just the way I've calibrated the throttle pedal, but it doesn't go up to 100. So we'll see. It's a lot better. We're not going to get transient throttle on that. That's good. And we're idling at 1100. We can look at the run time. We're at 60 seconds. Alright, I'm happy with that. I think we might have fixed it. Alright guys, I was just going over the log from before. We had 0.05 volt movement through that whole minute that I had the car running, which is good. We did have a drop when cranking, and it came back up, and then we had that 0.05 fluctuation, whereas before it was 3 times as much, so 0.15 movement, which had the percentage moving quite a bit. Now I do need to recalibrate the TPS, because when I put my foot all the way down, it's at 88%, I think. 88.4% all the way down. So recalibrate that, and I'll do it again and see where we're at. But snipping those wires to the ECU and TCU have definitely done something. Also, I had a filter on, so I'm going to change that back down to 2. And calibrate. So I know now the throttle blade is open enough that it will idle by itself. Really good without touching it. Alright, just recalibrated. 1.16 for 0 and 4.29 for 100. Getting no movement. Percentage. And our filter is back down to 2. Right, we'll start it up for the minute and log it. See how we're going. Right, we are getting a little bit of movement, but we're sitting up at 4% now, which is not good. Let it get to the minute, so we're burning off some fuel because we started rich. Right, we're past the minute. Alright, I've got to calibrate this properly. Yeah, we're not getting much voltage movement. Right, just going through the log. 1.28, I think. So yeah, 2823.1. It's with the filter down at 2. So I'm going to recalibrate it at 1.33 for 0. Alright, I'm going to calibrate 0%. So I can see the voltage down here. We're going to bring it up to 3.3. I'll try to hold it there. It's 3.4. And then 100%. Alright, so now 0% is 1.34. Let's see how that goes. Alright. So sitting at 1.3, 0%. Alright, this is the log. So without the engine on, we're at 1.16. Cranking drops down to 1.9. Running 1.3. And we have 0% TPS. So that's good. So as soon as I push my foot down on the pedal, it will read as 1. Right, that's proper calibration done. So calibration wasn't right, and also TCU and ECU were definitely adding voltage, pulling voltage. But yeah, we don't need them because we are manual now. Whereas the TCU needed TPS input for kick down
for the auto. So alright guys, so in conclusion, we have brought the filtering down, which is what you want. You don't want it too high. Back down to stock what Haltech said, which is 2, and I went all the way up to 5 and it still wasn't working, so recalibrated the TPS, and now we're getting a third of the movement because I removed the TCU and ECU from the TPS sensor. So if you're doing an auto to manual conversion, make sure you remove that, or just run a wire from the Haltech straight to the TPS. That would be my next option, but pretty sure I've got it done. Right, that's it. Worked it out. Next time we'll do a bit more tuning and we'll get out on the road. We should have this out of the car by then. So have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.